Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spoonies with Purpose. And I'm so excited today to be interviewing a fabulously fiery fibro femme, Marie Wroe. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
It's so good to have you here. Um, First of all, Maria, would you like to introduce yourself briefly? Just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Marie. I am a spiritual channel and a healer, and I have my own spiritual business where I support other women with fibro and chronic illness and get them on their own spiritual path to show them how spirituality and connecting to spirit can really help change the mind, body, soul, and spirit to lead a better and more freeing life from these illnesses that we seem to have and seem to be manifesting into our system.
Fabulous. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with a long-term health condition with fibromyalgia?
Yeah, so I remember at the age of 16 having, it wasn't necessarily an injury, it was just pain. I danced from the age of 9. And I remember being in quite a lot of pain. And that was the first time I went to see the GP. And I just kept getting told, just quit dancing, just quit dancing, just quit dancing. And at this point, dancing was my life.
Mm.
So much so, I went on at the age of, I did a dance degree, I did college, I did a degree, and I went on to do a PGC and taught dance in college for 20 years. So it was all very, my dog's not,
Motion detected at the
they're
front end.
barking at the door. There's always something when I'm on a call, always. So yeah, I did all the dance things and I just kept pushing and pushing, and I just believed that that was my journey. And it got to the point where it got so bad, but it wasn't necessarily the dancing that was causing the pain to be worse. It was the management, because I was also the manager of the performing arts and dancing, and it was the managerial role, the stress.
Yeah.
Now, stress is, I mean, you'll know yourself, stress is the number one killer, right? So it was the stress of that. And I had to make huge decisions about that. So 4 years ago, I quit. I quit my job and moved into my own business. And now I navigate so beautifully that people question. And
Mhm.
I get it all the time. You don't look sick.
Yeah.
And I go, it's because I manage it. It's because
Yeah.
I manage it because I've learned to manage it because I know that nobody else knows my body, my
Yeah.
mind, my soul more than I do.
Oh, I love that. I love that thing about taking responsibility because you are the
Mm.
expert. You are the expert in your own
Yes, we are, aren't we? We
doing.
definitely are. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also feel that that awareness, having that awareness of the mind, body, and soul as well is really key in moving forward and transitioning from this. It's like it can feel like a prison sometimes in your own body, can't it? And actually you can move that, you can shift that.
Yeah.
And it just takes a little bit of work.
Well, I'm going to pick your brains about that a little bit in a few moments. But
Brilliant.
first of all, I'd like to ask you about, in general, the topic of purpose and what purpose means to you.
I love this. Absolutely love this. So purpose for me is finding a path that really lights your soul. It's that beautiful feeling within your internal system when you are doing something so beautiful that it just makes you feel like lit up like the Blackpool illuminations. It's that beautiful feeling of helping and serving others.
Yeah.
And being a spiritual soul, I know in terms of my purpose, I'm here for a reason and I'm here to do that. I'm here to work for the greater good.
Yeah.
I'm not here to do the thing that I'm forced to do because society tells me that's what I've got to do. And that's something that I've learned along the way as well. And it's more about doing what I want to do because I love doing what I'm doing, but at the same time moving mountains for others as well and creating this beautiful ripple effect in the world across the globe. to support others doing the same thing. So it just
Yeah.
continues on this beautiful journey and this ripple.
I love that. And I
Mm,
want to pick up on a couple of aspects of that really, because there's the first aspect is simply the being lit up from within and connecting with that feeling of being lit up. And I love that as a description of
mm,
purpose. I really resonate to that. And as you were talking about it, I could just feel your light shining. It was beautiful. And the other part of it is in service. You kind of talked about it being in service, and I think sometimes people with a long-term health condition can get a bit caught up on that side of it. My purpose is to serve
mhm.
without connecting into first, but
Yeah,
first it's to light myself up and
yeah,
then serve from that place. And um, and then when you are serving from the place where you're lit inside, it does ripple out. It
it
does
does.
just go on and on and
Mhm.
on and on. And I love how you describe that. Ah, kindred spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, when there's a beautiful point here to be made about the positive impact of feeling that within, like you say, the internal. Because when we have a chronic illness, we know the pain and depression cycle can come in. So we're in pain, we get depressed. We get depressed, we're in pain. And it just goes on and on. And what I know to be true, because I'm living proof, is the fact that when I'm positive, when I am lit up inside doing the service for others, my body just accepts that so much more beautifully than the negative.
Yeah.
So high vibrations all the way.
Yes. 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 Um, no, you touched on something that I have only kind of in the last few years really got to take on in myself as well, and that is the kind of soul's purpose, that I am here for a reason.
Mhm.
Would you like to talk a little bit about how you discovered that for yourself, like how you, when you first recognized that yes, there is a spiritual reason I'm here.
So during my 20 years of teaching, I always had a connection with my students, and I just sort of thought I've just got a good connection with my students. I never really felt into it, but now looking back, I go, actually, I was an empath. I'm still an empath. I resonated with their feelings. I aligned with their feelings, and I could hold space for them. So looking back, I've always been in that space. But what I found going into more of my spiritual self was the more I leaned into that, the the soul's purpose comes through. I remember my spiritual journey starting with my aunt giving me, she gifted me a deck of tarot cards. And I did not know what to do with them. So I wrapped them in two towels in a jumper and shoved them at the back of my wardrobe because I didn't want to conjure evil spirits. That was my initial thought.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago, I just had this, obviously, spirit were coming through, get out your tarot deck. So I did. And I just started posting um, little descriptions and a picture of each card on my Facebook stories. And people kept coming in and just saying, "Oh, thank you for that. I really needed to hear that today." And that's where my spiritual, like, and my soul's purpose began. Wow, okay, so I can give this for others. And this feels so good that I can do this. Just a little message that comes through. Let me see what I can do with this. And that's kind of the history of it, really. And then it just developed from that into more and more and more, having more of a connection with my own soul and helping and supporting others to do the same. Because when you connect to your soul, we tend to forget about the emotional soul quite a bit as human beings. We think about the mind, we think about the body, but we don't always resonate with the soul because emotions, let's not go down that path. Let's just hide them away and put them in a cupboard somewhere. So when you start to embrace and acknowledge your emotions, something shifts within you.
Yeah,
And that's the beautiful feelings.
yeah. And for me, there's that sense, the sense of when you are connecting to your soul,
Mm,
when you are feeling those little whispers and little nudges and acting on them, it feels so good. And
right.
it's kind of, for me, that's the indication that if something is feeling that good, then it has to come from something bigger.
Yes. And I love that. Absolutely love that. And it's those spiritual nudges. And it doesn't matter who you preach to, who you pray to, who you meditate to. I often use the word guess, Gueess, because God, universe, energy, source, and spirit.
Oh, I love
You
that.
can preach to anything. It doesn't matter because what's happening is those messages are coming from higher conscious, right? They're coming
Yeah,
from a bigger thing, a huge energy that we cannot even fathom. It's coming from more and more and more. And this is what I'm trying to lead as well in terms of more of like a shift in movement and beliefs. Like you, it doesn't matter who you believe in, what you believe in, because love is the highest vibrational frequency. And when we can get on that train,
yeah,
that's when magic happens, right?
absolutely. I
Yeah.
love it. Love, love, love. So let's move on a little bit and talk about from both from your experience, well, mostly from your experience, how do you would you what advice would you give in terms of balancing that purpose with living with a long-term health condition?
Okay, so the first thing that comes in is listen. Listen to your body and listen to whatever it is that is coming in because you are being constantly told what is good for you. Like you were saying before about the nudges and all those little things coming in, you are being told all the time. So you can be typing away and creating all sorts of magic on your laptop, and it gets to 11 o'clock at night, and you're hearing go to bed, go to bed, go to bed, and our head fights it, and we go, oh, I've just got to finish this, I've just got to finish this. And this comes from this huge corporate society, right? This corporate
Yeah,
business world of you've got to get this done because you've got a deadline.
yeah,
And when you have your own thing, your own business, you can do whatever you want,
yeah,
whenever you want. And you've just got to trust that what you're hearing is the right thing for
yeah,
you in those moments. And if you need to rest and take a nap, then do that. I remember spending the whole of last summer, and I love the sun, um, but I spent a lot of it just in bed and sleeping
yeah,
because I was going through big ascension, big change, big transformation. And my body was just going, you just gotta go and sleep, go and sleep, go and sleep.
yeah. That can be
So
so hard,
listen.
can't it? Like when the weather's nice outside,
Hmm.
sometimes you can be thinking, but I should be making the most of, or
Yes.
it's a nice day, so I could go for a walk.
Yes.
But then your body is telling you, no,
Mhm.
today is not the day for that.
Yes.
And
And do you know what I really find interesting, especially with entrepreneurs and again with people with chronic illnesses, money comes into it. I have to finish this because I have to make money. And that's a big objection when actually a lot of the time it's not money's not even the objection, it's the self-worth piece.
yeah,
It comes in as self-worth. Like we are worthy enough to have an easy life. We are worthy enough to not hammer the laptop or
yeah,
be on the phone constantly. We are worthy enough to take a walk in nature if we like, if we want to
yeah.
do that in that moment.
I think there are a lot of people in my group who might be watching this who haven't got to the point of being able to be an entrepreneur yet or to be able to even work part-time.
Hmm.
But the compulsion to contribute, to do things for others, to complete tasks is still there with them. So I just want to kind of draw that in, that what you're
Mm,
talking about relates to that as well, because it's so
absolutely.
much about just being worthy to put your needs first, to
Yes.
let go of the pressure. And I think the pressure is one of the words um, that has been important for me to recognize. Is any moment that there's any pressure, it's like recognize I don't have to deal with that pressure. I can let it go.
Yes. And releasing the guilt. I had a lot of mum guilt going into this diagnosis. And my daughter has been, she's 15 now, she's been the most supportive human, along with my husband, but she has just understood so much of my illness. It's unreal. And I just think I had to let go of a lot of that guilt because I couldn't do the things with her and I couldn't take her to the places she wanted. And it was getting very, very tense within my system. And just knowing that kids can be really receptive to emotions and kids can have understanding, and just allow them in and share your feelings with them and share how you're moving through it, and just let them know. Don't close off your emotions just because they're kids. They understand a lot more than we know they know.
Yeah, yeah, that's lovely, lovely advice. That feels, yeah, I, I mean, I'm not a mother, but in terms of anybody around you, and it's very important with kids, but also anybody around you, give them the opportunity
Yeah.
to show you compassion and understanding.
Mhm.
Don't take that opportunity away from them. Sort of
Mhm.
let them be there for you.
Yeah. We can get very much tied up in our what I call masculine energy of let me do it on my own. I'm fine. I'm fine. And I hate that word. I'm fine.
Yeah,
It's one of those sayings, just allow people. You don't need to be saved. It's just good to have others around you that understand.
yeah. One of the things that I like to think about is that love is something that flows. And in order for it to flow, it has to go somewhere.
Yes.
So it can come into you, flow through you, go out of you towards
Yeah.
somebody. But if there is nobody there on the receiving end, the flow gets blocked.
Yeah.
And so, with our purpose, yes, we have a purpose to spread love into the world, but
Yes.
also we have a purpose to receive love.
Oh my
To,
God, yeah.
because without being that person who accepts help or um, accepts the
Yeah.
loving compassion and understanding that's there for them, you're not you're not keeping the flow going.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's our job to
Absolutely
keep
right.
the flow going.
Yeah, absolutely right. And my coach wrote an interesting post the other day. What's more important, giving or receiving? And I was like, give me time to write this message because both.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is not, it's people find it so easy to give and very, very difficult to receive. And again, it goes right back to self-worth.
Yeah,
Are you worthy enough to receive? Well, yes, you are. We all are. And that can be gifts, it can be money, it can be compliments, it can be anything.
yeah.
And a lot of the time, I love to share the idea of when somebody gives you a compliment, take a breath and just say thank you, whether it feels uncomfortable or not. Just say thank you and receive it into your soul, receive it into your system, because a lot of the time we can often go, oh, don't be daft, don't be daft. No, no, I'm not beautiful, you're beautiful. And we throw it back. So we're blocking our system, exactly as you just said, we're blocking that flow.
Yeah,
So open it up and just start to receive those little bits, and it becomes so much more beautiful.
absolutely. Oh, I'm really enjoying this conversation,
Me too, me
but
too.
um, we could be here all day. So before we do finish, what I'd like to talk a little bit about is tell us about your specific purposes. what are you doing right now? And yeah, I'd love to hear all about it.
So, leading from what we were just discussing, my purpose when I wake up in the morning, my purpose is to literally just be in my feminine. What do I feel right now? What does my body, my mind desire? And I have little rituals that I do. So I have water to hydrate my system, but I have a gratitude practice with that as well. And I can often, when it's beautiful outside, I sit outside and I just take in and I say things out loud. I'm I'm thankful for the beautiful green grass I see. I'm thankful for the blue sky. And I just go on and on and on. And that brings me purpose as soon as I wake up. I do meditation, I do yoga.
Mhm.
And again, it awakens my soul to bring in more abundance. And that abundance brings me purpose every single day. And then I'm set up for bringing purpose to others as well, because one of the things that I love to do is to create abundance in all forms for others.
Mm.
And that can be money, it can be love, it can be gratitude, and just sharing so much wisdom and guidance with others that I can bring in their awakening. I can open up their system and get them. It's like transformations. It's the transformations. And that for me is massive in terms of purpose. Like I love to bring in transformations for others.
I love that word as well. That transformation is just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, if there's anybody here listening to this and thinking, "Oh, what a beautiful woman! I want to work with her," how might they be able to work with you?
So I have a lot of things going on in terms of what you can do. I do tarot reads, I do mediumship reads, I offer one-to-one sessions guidance wise. I have some beautiful programs. I have a beautiful program called Reframe Your Pain, which is aimed at Spoonies and how to shift the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit into living more freely, including pain. Um, I work with beautiful souls who want to shift those blocks and old traumas, old conditioning patterns, and give themselves a bit of a rebirth. I teach mediumship, I teach tarot, and there's a lot more to come. There's a hell of
Yay!
a lot more to come.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I just the whole thing for me is about, like I said, transforming
yeah.
others. And when that transformation comes in, no matter how big or small, it's just a beautiful, it's like an impact. It's a huge impact. And it might just be a little pebble in a like dropped in a pond, but then that ripple effect that is created is just the most beautiful thing. And I see that going on and on. And it's when clients come in and say, "Oh, guess what? I've got this client." And then that client goes, "I've got this client." And I go, "Wow, that's insane.
Yes,
That's insane." So yeah,
fabulous.
you can catch me all over the socials. I've also got a beautiful group on Facebook called Femmes on Fire, which is aimed at people with fibro and chronic illness, to awaken their spiritual soul, create their own business, or just be in a really supportive place. Because I'm not sure about yourself, but your group is one of the most beautiful fibro groups I've been in. And I've only been in there a short time. But I find a lot of fibro groups on Facebook are very contradictive and not very kind.
Yeah, yes, we need to be kind and loving with each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will get all those details so that I can put them with the podcast, with the in my group. So wherever you're watching this or listening to this, you should be able to find the links to all Marie's socials and her Facebook group so that you can find out more. And just to mention the Spoonies with Purpose Facebook group as well, if you're not already listening from there, you'll find the link for that too. So thank you so much, Marie, for joining me for this
Thank
interview
you.
today. It's been so uplifting.
I've loved it, Julie. Thank you so much. It's just lit my soul completely this morning.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.